Have you ever noticed that the people who achieve extraordinary success are not always the most talented, the smartest, or the most gifted? Often they simply believe in themselves more than anyone else does. They walk into every room with certainty, they face challenges with confidence, and they refuse to see themselves as second best. Today I want to share a powerful idea that can transform your life. Act as if you are the best, and refuse to believe that anyone is better than you. One of the greatest challenges people face is not a lack of talent, opportunity, or intelligence. It is a lack of belief in their own value. Many individuals spend years waiting for someone else to recognize their worth before they give themselves permission to dream bigger, aim higher, or pursue something meaningful. They look for validation from friends, family, coworkers, or society, hoping someone will tell them they are capable enough, talented enough, or deserving enough. But the truth is that confidence does not begin when others believe in you. Confidence begins when you decide to believe in yourself. The moment you recognize your own value is the moment you stop living according to other people's opinions and start building a life based on your own potential. Every person has unique gifts, strengths, experiences, and abilities. No one else in the world has lived your exact journey. No one else has faced the same challenges, learned the same lessons, or developed the same perspective. Yet many people spend their lives focusing on what they lack instead of appreciating what they already possess. They compare themselves to people who are further ahead and convince themselves that they are somehow less important, less capable, or less deserving of success. This way of thinking creates unnecessary limitations. When you constantly focus on your weaknesses, you overlook the strengths that could transform your future. Believing in your own value means understanding that your potential cannot be measured by your current circumstances. Your bank account does not determine your worth. Your job title does not determine your worth. Your past mistakes do not determine your worth. Even your current results do not determine your worth. Value comes from who you are becoming, not simply from where you are today. Some of the most successful people in history began with very little. What separated them from others was not their starting point, but their refusal to believe that their circumstances defined their future. When you truly recognize your value, you begin making different decisions. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop shrinking your ambitions to make others comfortable. You stop doubting every idea before giving it a chance to grow. Instead, you begin investing in yourself through learning, personal development, discipline, and action. You understand that every improvement you make increases your ability to contribute, achieve, and create results. You begin carrying yourself with greater confidence because you know that your value does not depend on outside approval, temporary setbacks, or the opinions of those who fail to see your potential. Self-confidence is one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. It is the invisible quality that determines how you approach opportunities, challenges, setbacks, and success. Many people believe confidence is something that only a fortunate few are born with, but that belief is far from the truth. Confidence is not a gift reserved for a select group of people. It is a skill that can be developed, strengthened, and reinforced through consistent effort and experience. The individuals who appear fearless, decisive, and certain of themselves were not necessarily born that way. They became that way by repeatedly proving to themselves that they could handle difficulties, learn from mistakes, and continue moving forward regardless of the outcome. One reason so many people struggle with confidence is that they wait until they feel confident before taking action. They tell themselves they will start the business when they feel ready, pursue the goal when fear disappears, or speak up when they become more certain of themselves. The problem with this approach is that confidence rarely comes before action. Confidence is the result of action. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you face a challenge, and every time you attempt something difficult, you send a message to your mind that you are stronger than your fears. Small victories accumulate over time, and those victories become the foundation upon which genuine confidence is built. Unshakable self-confidence is not the belief that everything will always go according to plan. It is the belief that no matter what happens, you can adapt, learn, and continue progressing. Confident people are not free from failure. They simply refuse to let failure define them. They understand that mistakes are part of growth, setbacks are part of the journey, and obstacles are often the greatest teachers. Instead of interpreting difficulties as proof of weakness, they view them as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Another important aspect of confidence is keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you set a goal and follow through, your self-respect grows. Every time you commit to learning a new skill, improving a habit, or completing a task despite resistance, you strengthen your trust in yourself. On the other hand, when you repeatedly abandon commitments, delay action, or ignore your responsibilities, your confidence begins to weaken. Self-confidence and self-discipline are deeply connected because both are built through consistent behavior rather than temporary motivation. The strongest confidence comes from preparation, growth, and experience. When you invest in your knowledge, sharpen your skills, improve your habits, and continue learning, you create a foundation that cannot easily be shaken by criticism, rejection, or temporary setbacks. You begin to carry yourself differently because you know that your confidence is no longer based on opinions, circumstances, or luck. It is built upon the certainty that you have developed the ability to face challenges, overcome obstacles, and continue moving toward your goals, regardless of what stands in your way. One of the most destructive habits a person can develop is the habit of constantly comparing themselves to others. It is a trap that quietly steals confidence, weakens ambition, and prevents people from recognizing their own progress. In today's world, comparison has become easier than ever. Everywhere you look, there are people displaying their achievements, lifestyles, possessions, and accomplishments. It can seem as though everyone else is moving ahead while you are standing still. The danger is not that others are succeeding. The danger is allowing their success to make you question your own value. The moment you begin measuring your worth against someone else's achievements, you place yourself in a game you can never truly win, because there will always be someone who appears to have more, know more, earn more, or achieve more. Every individual is living a different story. People begin at different starting points, face different challenges, possess different strengths, and pursue different goals. Comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20 creates an unfair and unrealistic standard. You may be looking at a person's current success without seeing the years of sacrifice, failure, discipline, and persistence that made it possible. You may be judging your own journey based on information you do not fully understand. The truth is that success is rarely as simple as it appears from the outside. Every accomplishment has a hidden history that most people never see. When you focus too much on others, you lose sight of your own growth. You stop paying attention to the progress you have made and begin obsessing over the distance between where you are and where someone else is. This mindset creates frustration because it shifts your attention away from what you can control. You cannot control another person's opportunities, talents, or achievements. You can only control your own actions, decisions, habits, and attitude. The most productive question is not, why are they ahead, but rather, how can I become better than I was yesterday? That question places the responsibility back into your hands and allows you to focus on continuous improvement. The people who achieve extraordinary things understand that personal growth is not a competition against the world. It is a commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. They use the success of others as inspiration rather than as a source of insecurity. Instead of feeling discouraged by someone else's accomplishments, they study what can be learned from them. They understand that another person's success does not reduce their own potential. There is enough opportunity, achievement, and growth available for everyone willing to pursue it with dedication and discipline. When you stop comparing yourself to others, something remarkable begins to happen. You become more focused, more grateful, and more confident. You start appreciating your own strengths, recognizing your own progress, and building your future according to your own vision rather than someone else's expectations. You begin measuring success by your growth, your effort, your discipline, and your willingness to keep moving forward, regardless of how fast or slow anyone else may be traveling on their own path. One of the most powerful changes a person can make is learning to carry themselves like a winner long before the world recognizes their success. Many people believe they must wait until they achieve a certain goal, earn a certain amount of money, receive a promotion, or accomplish something significant before they can feel confident. They assume confidence is a reward that comes after success. In reality, confidence is often what creates success in the first place. The way you carry yourself influences the way you think, the way you act, and the way others respond to you. A person who sees themselves as capable and valuable approaches opportunities differently than someone who constantly doubts their worth. Long before results appear on the outside, a winning mindset begins on the inside. Carrying yourself like a winner does not mean pretending to be someone you are not. It does not mean becoming arrogant, boastful, or believing you are superior to others. True winners are not focused on proving their greatness to the world. They are focused on developing their character, improving their skills, and living according to high standards. A winning attitude is built on self-respect. It is the decision to treat yourself as someone who deserves success, growth, and achievement. When you respect yourself, you naturally begin making better decisions. You become more intentional about how you spend your time, who you associate with, and what habits you allow to shape your future. The way you speak about yourself is a reflection of how you see yourself. Many people weaken their confidence through negative self-talk. They constantly remind themselves of their mistakes, limitations, and failures. They speak as if defeat is inevitable and success is reserved for someone else. Winners understand that words have power. They choose language that strengthens rather than weakens their mindset. They focus on possibilities instead of obstacles. They talk about goals instead of excuses. They train themselves to think in ways that encourage growth, action, and progress. A winner also carries themselves with composure during difficult times. Anyone can appear confident when circumstances are favorable, but true confidence is revealed during challenges. When setbacks occur, winners do not allow temporary failures to define their identity. They remain focused on solutions rather than problems. They understand that every obstacle contains lessons that can make them stronger. Their confidence is not based on perfect conditions, but on their ability to adapt, learn, and continue moving forward regardless of what happens around them. People often underestimate the impact of attitude. The way you enter a room, the way you communicate with others, the way you handle responsibilities, and the way you respond to pressure all send a message about how you view yourself. When you carry yourself like a winner, you project determination, self-respect, and purpose. You stop waiting for external validation because you already know your value. You approach each day with the expectation that your actions matter, your efforts have meaning, and your future can be shaped by the choices you make consistently over time. If there is one quality that separates dreamers from achievers, it is discipline. Many people have great ideas, ambitious goals, and inspiring visions for their future, but very few develop the habits necessary to turn those dreams into reality. Success is rarely determined by what you do once in a while. It is determined by what you do consistently. The actions you repeat every day eventually shape your character, define your identity, and determine the direction of your life. Whether those habits are positive or negative, they are constantly working on your behalf or against you. That is why mastering your habits is one of the most important investments you can make in yourself. Most people underestimate the power of small daily actions. They often focus on dramatic changes and immediate results, believing success happens through one big breakthrough. In reality, lasting success is usually the result of countless small decisions made over an extended period of time. Reading a few pages every day may not seem significant, but over the course of a year, it can transform your knowledge. Exercising consistently may not produce instant results, but over time, it can transform your health and energy. Saving a small amount of money regularly may appear insignificant in the moment, but it can create financial freedom in the future. Success compounds in the same way that failure compounds. Small actions repeated consistently create outcomes that eventually become impossible to ignore. Discipline is especially important because motivation is unreliable. There will be days when you feel inspired, energized, and ready to conquer the world. There will also be days when you feel tired, discouraged, distracted, or uncertain. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your results will always be inconsistent. Discipline allows you to continue moving forward even when enthusiasm fades. It enables you to honor your commitments regardless of your mood. The disciplined person understands that feelings come and go, but responsibilities remain. They focus on doing what needs to be done rather than waiting until they feel like doing it. One of the greatest benefits of discipline is the confidence it creates. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your trust in yourself. Every time you choose growth over comfort, action over excuses, and responsibility over procrastination, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. Discipline becomes evidence that you can rely on yourself. It transforms confidence from a wish into a reality supported by consistent action and proven behavior. The most successful people are not necessarily those with the greatest talent, intelligence, or opportunities. They are often the individuals who have learned to master their daily habits. They understand that every day presents a choice between actions that move them closer to their goals and actions that move them further away. They do not allow temporary comfort to distract them from long-term success. Instead, they build routines that support their vision, create standards that guide their behavior, and develop the discipline required to continue progressing even when the journey becomes difficult. There is a significant difference between believing in your potential and proving it through action. Confidence is important, self-belief is necessary, and a strong mindset is essential. But eventually, every dream, goal, and ambition must be supported by results. The world responds to evidence. It responds to effort that produces value, discipline that creates progress, and actions that lead to measurable outcomes. This is why true greatness is not something you constantly announce, it is something you demonstrate. The most successful individuals understand that while confidence can open the door, results are what keep it open. They focus less on talking about what they are going to do and more on doing the work required to make it happen. Many people spend years discussing their plans, explaining their intentions, and describing the success they hope to achieve. They become experts at making promises but fail to develop the habits necessary to fulfill them. Greatness is never established through words alone. It is built through consistent effort repeated over time. Every goal requires action. Every achievement requires commitment. Every meaningful accomplishment demands sacrifice. The people who create extraordinary results are often not the loudest individuals in the room. They are the ones quietly improving their skills, expanding their knowledge, and putting in the work while others are still talking about what they intend to do. Results have a unique power because they eliminate doubt. When your actions consistently produce progress, you no longer need constant validation from others. You do not need to convince people of your abilities because your achievements speak for themselves. Success leaves evidence. It can be seen in your growth, your discipline, your consistency, and your willingness to persevere when challenges arise. Instead of seeking recognition, highly successful people focus on becoming so effective that recognition naturally follows. They understand that respect is earned through performance, not demanded through words. Another important lesson is that meaningful results rarely appear overnight. We live in a world that often celebrates instant success, but lasting achievement usually requires patience. There will be periods when your efforts seem unnoticed and your progress feels slow. During those moments, many people become discouraged and abandon their goals. Those who achieve greatness understand that results are often delayed. They trust the process and continue working even when immediate rewards are absent. They know that every disciplined action contributes to future outcomes, even if those outcomes are not visible today. When you commit yourself to excellence, focus on growth, and consistently improve your performance, results become inevitable. The confidence you build through preparation, the discipline you develop through daily habits, and the persistence you demonstrate during adversity all begin to produce visible evidence of your potential. Over time, your achievements become a reflection of the standards you have chosen to live by. Instead of spending your energy proving your worth to others, dedicate your energy to becoming so skilled, so disciplined, and so effective that your results become undeniable proof of the greatness you have worked to develop within yourself. Success begins the moment you decide to see yourself differently, act with confidence, develop discipline, and refuse to let doubt define your future. The greatness you seek is not something outside of you. It is something you build every day through your thoughts, actions, and commitment to growth. Walk forward with certainty and let your life become the proof of what is possible when you believe you are capable of more.